Okay guys, hey, what is up? It's Mr. E here, and today we're taking a look at another Psyker build. What the hell is wrong with Mr. E? Did someone replace him with his alternate ego? Like, he doesn't like Psyker and he sucks at Psyker. Well, turns out that Fat Shark made Psyker so good that I can't resist making builds with it now, and I can't resist playing it because it just dominates everything else. This class is busted, and this build is busted as the rest I've been putting out. This one is a flame staff, absolute DPS pumper. We're going to be burning everything down. Massive DPS numbers. You will top damage on your team if you're playing at all adequately. And yeah, if you're interested in that sort of thing, go ahead. Like, subscribe, follow for more content, and I appreciate ya. Okay, let's get into the weapons here. Starting off with the Blaze Force Sword. I like the Elise, you can use any of the other ones as well. The really important thing here is you need to have Uncanny Strike. That's the most important thing. You could also use the Dueling Sword. You could also use the knife, right? It's important just to have Uncanny Strike so you can very quickly build up some of those rending stacks. Rending, what it does for us is it allows the damage effects that we can put out to do true damage. And since this only lasts for 3.5 seconds, it's really not going to do much. We can't really like swap back and forth very frequently to keep that up, but what we can do is get a bunch of fire stacks and a bunch of armor, enemies that normally aren't going to take very much from those soul blaze stacks, and then we're going to dink off of their armor with Uncanny Strike, and then suddenly you'll see those soul blaze stacks start to do a ton of damage through the armor. That's the synergy here. So yeah, occasionally you'll see me pulling out the weapon and going in for a couple of head strikes just to get that damage rolling a little bit better. The other thing that's really important here is Deflector. I think that's what probably makes the Blaze Force Swords in general the best secondary for a flame staff build or any staff build like this, is because this can get you out of so many sticky situations. Oftentimes the game will just absolutely ambush you. It'll say, hey, like the Rinda, the twins is spawned in, and they're going to go on you. They're going to try to murder you specifically. The Deflector Blessing says, no, you can't do that. I'm blocking you. I have a magical force field, and you can't hurt me. Like you're a kid in the playground or something. So yeah, that's going to stop that. It's going to put a kibosh on the enemies trying to kill us, which means we just get to do untold damage with our actual weapon, which is the Inferno Force Staff. Now, a couple of things I want to point out about this weapon, which is I stand corrected. You can still get 61% from the shop. It's just like, I think it's way rarer than it used to be, but as you can see here, the stats that I have in this weapon are over the normal stats. Even though I'm not using all of them, I do have a cap of 61% warp resist, but I have that maxed out at 26% with all the other ones at 80. And this just requires a lot of investment. You'll just want to go and just keep buying from the shop, keep buying those grays until you get one of the very low warp resist. This one I think rolled with about 4%, and everything else was relatively high, and then I upgraded it to here. Having a low warp resist, it really does matter with this build, because we're going to be having vent up so often that you will never really be in peril of, pun intended, of overloading. So you really want to have that high peril gauge so you can dump that vent and get maximum flame stacks on enemies. That's the goal here. Flak and Unarmored for perks here, just so we erase the massive hordes that much faster. And then Warp Nexus and Blaze Away. You might be asking, why are you not going Brittleness on flame stacks? Isn't that really good against crushers and stuff? The reality is that the Brittleness, since it doesn't have very much of an effect on things outside of the crushers and, other heavily armored enemies, like it has, I think it's a sub 10% damage increase against any non-crusher enemy. And then for like crushers, yes, it does do something, but in general, just having crits is so much more consistent because it buffs a bunch of other types of damage that we can do, and it allows you to stack Soul Blaze faster, because a crit gives you 2 stacks of Soul Blaze instead of 1, so you'll very quickly hit that upper cap of Soul Blaze, and then you'll be all set to go. So that's why we're running Warp Nexus, and then Blaze Away is just massive damage increases if you either are consistently tapping left click, or if you're just holding down and doing a big long gout of flame. Okay, going on to the Curios, just like with the last couple builds, triple toughness is the way to go on Psyker, with extra toughness, extra combat ability regen, and then of course, revive speed to allies, because we are an absolute goat at just clutching and getting allies up thanks to Deflector and our talents. Okay, let's go to the talents. Pretty familiar setup for the most part, right? This is kind of similar to what we might have seen before, but Soul Stealer up here and then Perilous Combustion. We're going to be killing everything with warp attacks. Soul Blaze and the direct damage from our stabs count as warp attacks. Perilous Combustion, even more fire spreading. Just putting extra stacks, and these stacks can actually overcap the normal amount of stacks that are allowed on enemies, which is amazing. Metal over here and perfect timing, so this is more regeneration, and we get to move faster, which is going to be very important for repositioning and staying away from enemies. But then also very importantly, 15% extra damage. Damage is very hard to come by in the Psyker tree for obvious reasons, because yeah, he really like abuses extra damage percentages. And then battle meditation, which is going to allow us just to cast that much longer. Like you'll see in the gameplay footage that I was not using my very low peril resist gear that I have on this one, but yeah, you can just cast basically forever, because when you kill a massive horde, you just annihilate your entire peril bar. So yeah, this will keep it very low and allow you to cast a lot when you're at high peril, which is the goal. Brain Rupture, and then we're going Soul Drinker and Empiric Shock. You might be like, Mr. E, why you went Wildfire in the Void Blast build? Why didn't you go Wildfire again? Because this is a Flame Stack build. The difference being is that Empiric Shock is probably like this staff uses it the best out of any other staff, unless you're going like electrokinetic left click build, because this staff can actually apply Empiric Shock's warp damage taken debuff to multiple enemies at once, because your left click is a cone attack, right? So all the enemies that get hit by those left clicks get that massive damage taken increase from the soul blaze and stuff. So this is just going to be massive. We're going to burn our enemies with a big gout of flame, get their flame stacks up nice and high, and then keep tapping them with this and get those this stack way up so they can take a bunch of damage. Okay, and then Soul Drinker for obvious reasons, right? Coming down here and grabbing Psychonetics Aura, and then one with the Warp. Coming through this way over to Venting Shriek, Becalming Eruption, and Creeping Flames. Remember, in order to get the maximum stacks of Creeping Flames of Soul Blaze out of this, you need to be over 80% peril. That's the magic number, so just look for that whenever you're venting. Although there is no shame in venting just any time, because we have like just an absolute crap ton of venting cooldown up because of all our cooldown abilities, and this will just allow you to stack the Soul Blaze stuff even faster. Remember that the Creeping Flames modifier here can actually overcap the normal venting or the normal Soul Blaze stack. So you'll take the enemies up to like 21, 22 stacks with this, which is a lot more damage than the 16 is. And then you can keep doing it if you can keep the damage up and keep getting your cooldown back fast enough. Then we're going to come out all the way over here and grab Kinetic Deflection. As mentioned before, this synergizes so well with Deflector on our weapon. It allows us just to block everything forever. And I think it's like the one weakness that the Psyker has is like getting surrounded by stuff and not being able to like get enemies away from him or defend himself in close quarters. This just solves that. And also he can just like get allies up for free, basically, as long as you can not get knocked away from your target. Then, of course, Warp Rider, we are going to be very high on peril for a lot of the time, which means this is just extra damage, all of our burns, all of our direct damage. Over here, Puppet Master, 75% coherency radius is very important. Remember that we really don't need to be quelling. Like, you'll see me tap quell a couple of times just to get a couple percentage off because my vent isn't ready, but the vent is going to be ready so often. This is really primarily going to be the way we vent this, and between this and battle meditation up here, that's going to be enough to keep our peril down that we don't really need to vent ourselves. And then this extra coherency aura radius is going to mean that when our allies are even farther away than normal, we'll be able to pick up the benefits of them killing elites or specialists, and therefore we'll have even more cooldown, which means we can vent more. So this is a really nice one for synergy with the most powerful build in the whole tree, Psychonetics Aura. Then we're going to do Penetration of the Soul. This is just amazing for the Flame Staff because, yes, of course, as someone mentioned, you can just like, if you're there with melee enemies in front of you, you can swap to the melee weapon and get Uncanny Strike up. But guess what? This is going to allow us to penetrate 20% of all armor. We're going to get 20% of our damage as true damage for free without having to quickly swap between weapons, which means we're going to have more time casting. And then if you do want to go and invest in like full true damage, you only need to attack and get 3 headshots rather than 4, which is much more easy to hit. And then you're like capped out there. Warp Siphon here with Essence Harvest, Warp Battery, and Infire Reborn. So we're going to regenerate even more toughness, and then Infire Reborn is going to give us all of those Soul Blaze charges, and we are going to be absolutely goated. So that's the build, guys. It's really, simple on paper. I'll show you some gameplay footage of it here. Just watch for how we're using Venting Shriek, right? Venting Shriek is an amazing tool. It goes through walls. It can hit things that are absurdly far away. You'll see me get like dogs and stuff off of my allies at an incredibly long distance. Just do not be shy about using this ability whenever you have it, because it makes a big difference in the battlefield. And I hope you enjoy this build, guys. Thanks for watching. There's a Reaper over top. Trevor on Douglas. Virgo. Bump. Driver left side. One hit. Fucking...
Like it's gonna be the twins.
Children.
Swamp.